Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss John Piaget's cognitive development theory. Pag sinabi nating Piaget, isa sa mga bagay na dapat nating maalala is that John Piaget is the father of cognitive psychology. He is the main proponent of the perspective cognitivism. So what is cognitivism? This is actually a perspective believing that every individual has their own innate capacity to learn things on their own. There are inborn capacities which are known as reflexes, and these reflexes are expounded, or sabihin na natin mas lumalago siya as we ages, as we mature, as we grow old. And this innate capacity are made stronger by how we adopt, how we assimilate, how we organize thoughts coming from the environment. Kung ang behaviorism, ang paniniwala doon is that learning comes from what is present in the environment. Cognitivism says that learning comes from your own innate capacity to manipulate your schema, to manipulate your innate capacity. So, tingnan natin mabuti itong concepts ni John Piaget. First, let us learn the basic principles or concepts of Piaget. So, tingnan natin mabuti kung ano itong mga ito. So, we're gonna learn what intelligence, schema, and the cognitive tendencies that we have. So first, let us explain what intelligence is. According to Piaget, intelligence is the person's capacity to produce equilibrium or homeostasis between the body and the environment. The person uses his intelligence in order to answer the needs within his internal needs by using the external environment. So, ang famous example dito ni John Piaget is the tension inside the body, which is hunger. Hunger is an innate tension. It's involuntary. So, ibig sabihin nun, talagang mararamdaman mo yon. Now, because of intelligence, the person will be able to find means of sufficing the hunger coming from the environment. Kaya sinasabi niya, it balances the body and the environment. Yun yung tinatawag natin na intelligence. So kung ano yung stimuli coming from the environment, mababalanse yung response ng katawan doon because of your intelligence. Okay? Another concept that Piaget is telling us ay yung tinatawag natin na schema. In some books, it is called schemes, schema, schemata. Pare-pareho lang yon, singular at plural. So, anong ibig sabihin ng schema? Pag sinabing nasa schema ko to nasa scheme ko to nasa schemata ko to ibig sabihin nun, it is present in my existing principle. In my prior knowledge, in my existing knowledge. Yun yung tinatawag nating schema. Existing knowledge. Scheme. Existing knowledge. Okay? Things that the person already knows. At yun yung baseline natin in developing the learning capacity of the person, yung prior knowledge. It's not the environment. Ulitin ko the frame of reference of cognitivism is not the environment but the schema, meaning the previous knowledge, the existing knowledge. At according to John Piaget, we manipulate this schema using the cognitive tendencies. Yan. Ano ba itong mga cognitive tendencies na tinatawag natin? May dalawang klase ng tendencies. At ito yung the tendency to organize thoughts and the tendency to adopt thoughts. Okay? Ito yung paraan kung paano nag-grow yung schema natin. Or by organizing and by adapting. It's just that ang mas sikat dito sa dalawa, ang mas sikat kasi hindi yung organizing at yung adapting, kung hindi yung assimilation at yung accommodation. But to inform everyone, assimilation and accommodation are processes under adaptation. Okay? Now, simulan natin kung ano ba yung tinatawag na organization. Pag sinabi nating organization, the existing knowledge is arranged in a logical pattern and it is found that a new stimuli matches the existing knowledge. Kapag nag-match yung schema dun sa bagong stimuli, ang tawag dun ay organization. So for example, may schema ang bata kung ano ang itsura ng bulaklak, flowers. At ang unang nakita na bulaklak ng bata ay santan. And the description of santan, of course, it smells good. And then, it has different colors. The petals are tiny. Pero, may mga distinct features siya na natatandaan ng bata. At nandun yun sa existing knowledge ng bata. Now, the child encountered something which is colored white. It has similar petals it's almost similar as the petals of the santan flower, which is the schema of the child. But it is not like the santan, whereby there are lots of flowers in one. Parang sa isang bulaklak, ang daming maliliit na bulaklak. Yun yung usual na description ng bata. Ito, isa-isa lang yung bulaklak. Pero similar siya Almost all of the characteristics are the same. So, doon sa organization, ang realization ng bata doon in organizing the schema is that the new stimuli is also a flower. So, ulitin ko pag organization, yung previous knowledge niya, yung schema niya, nagmamatch doon sa bagong schema. At nag-e-expound lang yung knowledge niya tungkol doon sa tinatawag na flower. Okay? Ulitin ko, ang tawag doon ay organization. Okay? Now, the second concept is adaptation. Ayan, adaptation. Pag sinabi mo namang adaptation, it means that the new environment has to be accepted by the person despite not matching the previous schema. Okay? Ulitin ko. Despite not matching the entire schema, the previously accepted knowledge or the prior knowledge of the child, ia-accept pa rin niya or ia-adapt pa rin niya itong bagong stimuli. At ang tawag natin doon ay adaptation. Sa organization, nagmamatch yung previous knowledge at yung bagong stimuli. Ngayon, itong sa adaptation, may previous knowledge pero hinanap nung bata dun sa mga schema niya kung ano yung magmamatch doon pero hindi nagmatch. So, kailangan pa rin niyang tanggapin yon, nagkakaroon ng arrangement ng bagong schema at ang tawag doon ay adaptation. And the way the child adapt things in the environment are called or may be by assimilating or by accommodating. Ito yung usually nako-confuse tayo dun sa part ng assimilation at ng accommodation. Pero actually, madali lang yung concept ng assimilation at adaptation. At accommodation. So, tignan natin, ano bang ibig sabihin ng assimilation at ano bang ibig sabihin ng accommodation? Okay. Assimilation. In assimilation, it is actually the process whereby the existing knowledge is given a new environment. So, we are introducing concepts here, existing knowledge, and then new environment and old environment. Pag sinabi nating new environment, ibig sabihin, bago ito sa principle ng bata. Hindi pa niya nagamit ito, hindi pa niya nakita ito, hindi pa niya nasubukan ito. It's not yet in the schema of the child. It's not part of the use of the old schema. Ibig sabihin, yung schema na meron siya, hindi pa ginagamit dun sa bagong environment na yon. Yun yung sinasabi na new environment. Pag sinabi nating old environment, ibig sabihin, the schema that is previously known was already being used in that environment. Okay? So magbigay tayo ng halimbawa mamaya, no? But to explain assimilation, it will be the process of adapting the new environment by using the old concept or the existing knowledge. Yun yung assimilation na tinatawag natin. Okay? So, an example of assimilation is this. Yung lagi nating binibigay na example in class. Yung pinaka or yung kauna-unahang basic reflex ng child. Okay? Piaget would always say that the first basic reflex act of the child is sucking. Why? Kasi kailangan niyang mag-survive. So in order to survive, he has to suck the nipple of the mother para ma-feed siya. Okay? So, ang schema natin, and this is an old schema, this is a reflex action, is sucking. Sabi natin, sa assimilation, there is an old schema, there is a schema which is being used by the child in a particular old environment, pero kailangang mag-adapt. At dun sa process ng adaptation na yon, yung old na schema, kinakailangan niyang i-arrange at titignan kung pwedeng gamitin dun sa new environment. So, eto na nga yun. The schema is sucking. The old environment is the nipple of the mother. Yung nanay. Very casual nating sinasabi yun. So, that's the nipple of the mother. Ngayon, itong baby ay preschool na. O kaya naman sabihin na natin na itong baby ay hindi na matetend ni mother because the mother now has to work. Tapos na halimbawa yung leave ng nanay at kailangan na magtrabaho at hindi po pwede na kapag nagutom yung bata ay dadalhin natin sa nanay. So kinakailangan na nating magkaroon ng adjustment doon sa bata. And the new environment now is, what will be the new environment? It's the feeding bottle. Okay. In the process of assimilation, you have to question it this way. Can the old schema be used to the new environment? If the answer is yes, you are in the process of assimilation. Why? Kasi nagkaroon ng adaptation pero hindi nagpalit ng schema, nadagdagan yung environment. Meaning, nadagdagan yung mga bagay kung saan pwedeng gamitin yung previous na knowledge or yung schema niya. So, this process is called assimilation. Okay? Assimilation. Tingnan nyo mabuti ha. Schema is sucking. Now, the old environment is of course yung mother. Now, yung sucking ginagamit kapag dumedede yung bata. And now we have a new environment which is the feeding bottle. Ask yourself, can I still use the same schema? If the answer is yes, then therefore, you are in assimilation. I hope I made it clear that that is assimilation. So the next one is accommodation. Okay? Accommodation is the process of modifying the scheme. So what you change now is not the environment or not the stimuli. What you change now is the schema. Why? Because there are cases that the baby will be presented with a new environment, but the old schema cannot be anymore used. So therefore, in adapting or in the process of adaptation, the child has to modify the schema. And modification of the schema to adjust and adapt to the new environment is known as accommodation. So medyo magulo, but when you see the example, you will be able to understand what it is clearly. So this is accommodation. Let us follow the first process, which is assimilation. In accommodation, it will be quite a little bit different. So the schema is still sucking. Now, the old environment is not anymore the nipple of the mother, but we now have the feeding bottle. Okay. If the feeding bottle now is the new, the old environment, ipagpalagay na natin na the baby is now in preschool. It's not anymore a baby, pero papasok na siya sa big school. Sabihin na natin. Can the baby carry the feeding bottle? Of course not, diba? So, pero kinakailangan pa rin, yung ibang mothers, they will still give doon sa bata milk, pababaunan pa rin. Pero hindi po pwede na doon sa feeding bottle. So, magkakaroon na ng new environment. Ano yung new environment? Sabihin na natin na tumbler. May tumbler na yung bata. Question ngayon, can we use sucking, the schema sucking, to the tumbler? Of course, the answer is no. Since the answer is no, kinakailangang mag-adjust nung baby para makainom doon sa tumbler. At dahil sa adjustment na yon at sa adaptation noong bagong environment na tumbler, kinakailangan na mapalitan yung schema. And changing the schema means accommodation. Ano yung magiging pagbabago? This is now the point of time that the baby has to sip and the baby has to swallow kung ano yung iinumin. Drinking na ngayon yung bagong schema. At yun yung tinatawag natin na assimilation and accommodation. Okay? So let's give other examples. We always say that oral fixation, di ba yung sinasabi ni Sigmund Freud na when you are orally fixated, meaning yung oral needs mo when you were a baby is not satisfied, nagkakaroon ka ng fixation. And fixations may occur like overeating and smoking. Ngayon, isipin yung mabuti. Is oral fixation assimilation or accommodation? We're gonna leave that hanging. We're gonna answer that in class. Or for those who are not in my class, you can you can put your answer in the comment box. Another example and another hanging question is this. For instance, there is an infant who is sleeping with the mother. The mother now has to work, but the baby is still in bed and the baby is hugging the mother. So what the mother did is that she get the pillow, inilagay niya dun sa tabi ng baby at hinayaan pa rin niya na yung baby ay i-hug yung pillow, replacing her para hindi magising yung baby. What process is that? Is that assimilation or accommodation? We're gonna answer that later. So I hope you've learned something today. Thank you so much.